Howdee-haie guys, I'm back with another book wrap-up video. I find that whenever it comes to these monthly specific type of videos, I'm always like really behind and really late. I don't know why, but I've got like 2 more January related videos to come, and I know it's going to be like the end of February before the time that they're put up. But anyway, let's get into this. So if you're a friend of mine on Goodreads, you might be able to see that it seems that I've read a lot of books, when in actual fact I've only got about 3 to show you specifically. So I'll briefly explain. One of the books, which was actually a comic, I read whilst I was waiting in the library for my mum. That was just a spare of the moment thing, and I was reading that when I was reading another book, which I don't usually do, but it was a spare of the moment thing and I didn't have my book on me. The other 2 books are ebooks, but I don't have a Kindle, so I listened to audiobooks for the first time, and that was pretty cool. Also, it's a novella. One of the stories was actually attached to a book that I was currently reading, but that was like the second one, and I just listed that as a separate book after I listened to the ebook of the first one. So hopefully that makes more sense. When you see the books that I'm talking about, you might understand a bit more. So let's just crack into it. As always, you can find all of my reviews and add me as a friend on Goodreads if you feel like it. The first book I read in January was Ancient Egypt, Civilizations of the Nile Valley from Pharaohs to Farmers. This is I think it's just a random publishing book. It doesn't have an author or anything. I had to make a new listing for it on Goodreads because I couldn't find it anywhere. But I think it's just one of those information books that you would see in schools, that kind of thing, where they just make like a bulk amount and distribute it. So yeah, it doesn't seem to have an author, but I found it really informative, but not to the point of it being overwhelming. The images and photographs used complemented the text beautifully. It made things make more sense. It was very bright, so it was very easy to read. The font size and the text font was really, it was large enough to not be boring when it comes to reading, because you know when you're reading something about history and stuff, the font's like diddy and you're like, this is so boring. But I don't know, the way things were spread out and stylized, it just made it easy to read. I'll show you an example of what I mean. So this is a random page on architecture, and as you see, it's got like loads of photographs, imageries, and then like bullet point kind of sized text around it, and I don't know, it just made it easier to understand, and I pretty much read this quicker than I thought, and it gave me more knowledge than I thought I was going to get to. So that was about ancient Egypt, and that was really cool. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The thing I read, I don't have to hand. It was the library comic that I was talking about earlier. It's called Hawkeye by Matt Fraction, I think that's how you pronounce it. But it was volume 3 and it was called LA Woman. Now, I just randomly picked it up. I assumed it was the first one, and then as I was reading it and read the back, I realised it was the 3rd volume, but I couldn't find the 1st or 2nd. So, and I hated doing this, I just read it, and I think that's what might have given me more of a negative review for this graphic novel, comic type book. I only gave it 1 star, and to be honest, probably even if I didn't read the first volumes, I wouldn't have liked it as much. For one, I didn't even know there was a female Hawkeye. I don't know, I didn't like the way things were. I don't know, I just didn't enjoy the story that much. The girl got on my nerves a bit, and I was just generally disappointed with the way it was written and stuff. I'm not at all interested in picking up the 1st and 2nd volumes and giving it a go. I don't know, I usually like superheroes and stuff like that, but this was not my thing, and I'm disappointed in that. So the 3rd book I managed to finish was Heroes of Olympus, The Blood of Olympus by Riordan. It was the last book in the Heroes of Olympus series, and I have been wanting this since it came out in October. Got it for Christmas, so I had to wait like 2 months, and then I finally got around to finishing it in January, and oh my god, 4 out of 5 stars. It was awesome. I don't want to tell you what it was about, but my general thought was that although I definitely don't think it was the best book in the whole series, it did not disappoint me. It was awesome. This is the book that had one of the novellas in the back. That novella was the Staff of Serapis, and that's the 2nd novella, where it links the Percy Jackson characters with the Kane Chronicles characters. So obviously I wanted to read the first one first, which is The Son of Sebek. That's why I had to listen to like an audio. Yeah, I just listed it as a separate book because it is a separate book, and I've got my own review on that that I'll talk about in a bit. There was one strange bit that I felt. I didn't feel like it had the same feel as the other books had, but it wasn't a bad thing. I don't know, I just felt a bit different. Maybe it's because it's the last one and I've been waiting for ages, but it just felt a bit different. But I really enjoyed it. I have a more detailed one because I just keep going on and on and on. I can't comprehend my thoughts for this book. It was just awesome. Yep, Goodreads, check my review out because it's better than what I'm saying now. The next book I, listened to was The Son of Sebek by Riordan. That's the first short novella mixing the Percy Jackson kids with the Kane Chronicle kids together. So it's Greek mythology mixed with Egyptian mythology, and I thought it was really cool how that worked. I didn't know how it was going to work, but Riordan really pulled that off. For some reason I assumed that this novella would be filled with loads of mini adventures between the two, but it wasn't. It was just one whole story, so if any of you was confused about that, let's just clear the air with that. I did feel like Percy was a bit of a jerk throughout the whole thing, but it was funny. There was loads of humour, and I just liked how the two guys, Carter and Percy, kind of hated each other at first and they were like fighting, but I liked the relationship between the two. I gave that 5 out of 5 stars. The next book was the second and so far the last, as I'm aware of, novella book for Percy Jackson meeting Kane Chronicles kids. This one's called The Staff of Serapis, and again it's by Riordan. It was definitely a more story-based novella in comparison with The Son of Sebek. I don't feel like it was as entertaining and funny with Annabeth and I forgot the girl's name, Sadie, but I don't know, it was still a good story. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, so it didn't live up to the first novella, but it wasn't shit. It was still interesting and yeah, definitely more story based, and I can see how it might turn into a big franchise amongst the Riordan fans. And the last book of the month I read was The Snow Child by Owen Ivy. I thought this was awesome. I am planning to do a full review on this maybe some point in the week, so I don't want to say too much in case I do, but the character development was awesome, the characters themselves were awesome, the setting, at times I was a little bit confused at, but great. I thought it was a great story. I think about half an hour or so after I finished this book, it started snowing, and I was like, oh my god, that's so strange. I feel like I haven't done a book wrap up in ages, which is true because I mean it's only once every month, but I was very jittery and stuttery, and I don't know, it's probably because I'm in a different location again from my usual. I've been in this location before, but I'm still trying to work out if it's best. I feel like I'm shrunk down, but I don't know. Yeah, if it's crap I won't do it again. But thanks for watching and have an awesome day. Bye.